Life is not a straight path. It is a winding road filled with peaks of joy and valleys of despair. There are moments when everything seems to align perfectly, and then there are times when the weight of the world crashes down on us, leaving us broken and questioning everything we once believed in. When life hurts you, and it will, it feels like the universe has conspired against you. But what if I told you that this pain, as unbearable as it may seem, is not the end of your story? What if I told you that within this suffering lies the seed of your greatest transformation? Pain is a universal experience. No one escapes it. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, the betrayal of a friend, the failure of a dream, or the weight of your own insecurities, life has a way of cutting deep. And in those moments, it's easy to feel like you're drowning, like the world is too heavy to carry. But here's the truth. Pain is not your enemy. It is a teacher, albeit a harsh one. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you've ignored, the weaknesses you've hidden, and the lies you've told yourself. It strips away the superficial and leaves you raw, vulnerable, and real. And in that rawness, there is an opportunity. An opportunity to rebuild, to grow, and to become someone stronger than you ever thought possible. The first step in navigating pain is to take responsibility. It's tempting to blame others, to curse the circumstances, or to wallow in self-pity. But blame keeps you stuck. It keeps you a victim. Responsibility, on the other hand, is empowering. It doesn't mean the pain is your fault, but it does mean that how you respond to it is entirely within your control. You can choose to let it destroy you, or you can choose to let it refine you. You can choose to stay in the darkness, or you can take one small step toward the light. And sometimes that's all it takes. One small step. Clean your room. Call a friend. Write down your thoughts. These seemingly insignificant actions can be the beginning of your healing. But healing is not just about action, it's also about meaning. Pain without meaning is unbearable, it's just suffering. But when you can find meaning in your suffering, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes a crucible, a place where you are tested, refined, and ultimately transformed. Maybe the meaning is in the lessons you learn. Maybe it's in the person you become. Maybe it's in the way you use your pain to help others who are struggling. Whatever it is, find it. Hold on to it. Let it be the anchor that keeps you grounded when the storms of life threaten to sweep you away. And remember, you don't have to face these storms alone. Pain has a way of isolating us, of making us feel like no one could possibly understand what we're going through. But the truth is, you are not alone. There are people who care about you, who want to help you, who have been through their own storms and come out the other side. Reach out to them, let them in. Let them remind you that you are not broken beyond repair, that you are worthy of love and connection, and that there is still beauty in the world, even if you can't see it right now. Finally, be patient with yourself. Healing is not a linear process. There will be days when you feel like you've taken 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. There will be days when the pain feels fresh, like it happened just yesterday. And that's okay. Healing takes time. It takes courage. It takes a willingness to face the darkness and keep moving forward, even when every fiber of your being wants to give up. But if you can do that, if you can keep moving forward, one small step at a time, you will emerge on the other side stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever thought possible. So when life hurts you, remember this. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you discover your strength, your purpose, and your capacity for growth. It is a chapter where you learn that even in the darkest moments, there is hope. And it is a chapter where you realize that you are not defined by your pain, but by how you choose to rise above it. Pain as a catalyst for growth. Life's hardships are not random or meaningless. They are profound opportunities for transformation. When life hurts you, it feels like the world is collapsing. But within that pain lies the potential for immense growth. Pain forces us to confront the parts of ourselves we often ignore. Our fears, insecurities, and weaknesses. It strips away the illusions we've built around ourselves and leaves us raw and vulnerable. And while this vulnerability is uncomfortable, it is also where true growth begins. Think of pain as a refiner's fire. It burns away the impurities, the distractions, and the falsehoods, leaving behind something stronger and more resilient. Without pain, we would remain stagnant, never pushed to evolve or improve. It is through suffering that we discover our capacity for endurance, our ability to adapt, and our potential for greatness. Pain teaches us lessons that comfort never could. It shows us what truly matters, what we're capable of, and what we need to let go of. So when life hurts you, don't run from the pain, lean into it. Ask yourself what it's trying to teach you. Use it as fuel to become the best version of yourself. Remember, the most beautiful sculptures are carved from the heart of stones. Your pain is not your enemy. It is the chisel that shapes you into a masterpiece. Responsibility in adversity. When life hurts you, it's easy to fall into the trap of blame. You might blame others, the circumstances, or even the universe itself. But blame, while comforting in the short term, is a prison. It keeps you stuck in victimhood, powerless and passive. The way out of this prison is through responsibility. Taking responsibility doesn't mean the pain is your fault. It simply means acknowledging that how you respond to it is within your control. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. This shift in perspective is empowering. It transforms you from a passive recipient of suffering into an active participant in your own healing. Responsibility means asking yourself tough questions. What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What small steps can I take to move forward? It means cleaning up your life even when it feels overwhelming, starting with your immediate environment, your habits, and your mindset. Responsibility is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about taking one small step at a time, even when the path ahead seems dark and uncertain. When you take responsibility, you reclaim your agency. You remind yourself that you are not defined by your pain, but by your response to it. And in that response lies the power to transform your suffering into strength. Finding meaning in suffering. Suffering is an inevitable part of life, but it becomes unbearable when it feels meaningless. The key to enduring pain is to find meaning in it. Meaning is the light that guides us through the darkest night. It gives us a reason to keep going even when everything inside us wants to give up. So how do you find meaning in suffering? Start by asking yourself what this pain is trying to teach you. Is it teaching you resilience, compassion, humility? Sometimes the meaning lies in the lessons you learn. Other times it lies in the person you become as a result of your struggles. Perhaps your suffering has made you more empathetic, more patient, or more determined. Meaning can also be found in the way you use your pain to help others. When you've been through the fire, you gain a unique understanding of what it means to suffer. This understanding allows you to connect with others who are struggling and offer them the support and compassion they need. Your pain, in this sense, becomes a gift, a tool you can use to make the world a little kinder, a little brighter. Finally, meaning can be found in the pursuit of a higher purpose. When you align your life with something greater than yourself, whether it's your family, your community, or a cause you believe in, your suffering becomes part of a larger story. It becomes a sacrifice, a contribution, a stepping stone towards something meaningful. So when life hurts you, don't just endure the pain, find the meaning in it. Let it guide you, transform you, and inspire you to create something beautiful out of the ashes. The power of small actions When life hurts you, the weight of your pain can feel overwhelming. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of despair where every problem seems insurmountable and every solution feels out of reach. But the way out of this cycle is through small, manageable actions. When you're drowning in pain, you don't need to solve everything at once. You just need to take one small step. Clean your room. Go for a walk. Write down your thoughts. These seemingly insignificant actions can have a profound impact on your mental state. They create a sense of order in the chaos, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. Small actions are powerful because they are achievable. They remind you that you are capable of making progress even when everything feels hopeless. They build momentum one step at a time until you find yourself moving forward again. Small actions also help you regain a sense of control. When life hurts you, it can feel like you've lost control over everything. But by focusing on what you can control, your habits, your environment, your daily routines, you reclaim a sense of agency. You remind yourself that you are not powerless. You are not defined by your pain. You are defined by your ability to take action, no matter how small. So when life hurts you, don't wait for the perfect solution. Start with what's in front of you. Take one small step and then another and another. Before you know it, those small steps will lead you out of the darkness and into the light. Community and connection pain has a way of isolating us. It makes us feel like no one could possibly understand what we're going through. But the truth is, you are not alone. There are people who care about you, who want to help you, who've been through their own storms and come out the other side. When life hurts you, one of the most powerful things you can do is reach out to others. Share your pain. Let them in. Let them remind you that you are not broken beyond repair, that you are worthy of love and connection, and that there is still beauty in the world. Even if you can't see it right now, connection is a powerful antidote to pain. It reminds us that we are part of something larger than ourselves. It gives us a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. When you're struggling, don't underestimate the power of a kind word, a listening ear, or a helping hand. These small acts of connection can make all the difference. They can lift you up when you're feeling down, give you hope when you're feeling hopeless, and remind you that you are not alone. And remember, connection is a two-way street. Just as others can support you, you can also support them. When you've been through pain, you gain a unique understanding of what it means to suffer. This understanding allows you to connect with others who are struggling and offer them the compassion and support they need. In this way, your pain becomes a bridge, a way to connect with others and create something meaningful out of your suffering. So when life hurts you, don't isolate yourself. Reach out. Connect. Let others remind you that you are not alone, and let your pain become a source of strength and connection for others.